Hi, and welcome to Bululu Wellness, your guide to well-being. Here, we simplify health with practical and easy-to-use tools to help you live a healthier life. Welcome to Bululu Wellness, a space to reconnect with your body, restore your energy, and learn tools to support your healing journey. I'm your host, Melly, a movement instructor and functional nutritionist. And here we talk all things nervous system, energy, and long-term wellness. Let's dive in. Hi, Mommy.
Hello, my dear Melly.
How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. Today I'm so excited because we are going to talk about a lot of the first therapies that we did. And we are going to talk about psychology. We're going to talk about Bach flowers, and we're going to talk about Reiki and more. So, Mommy, after Dad passed away, how do you find this psychologist who ended up being so special for us? What stood up and what was his approach?
After your father's death, that I was devastating and searching to process grief. I saw many psychologists, but then one day a friend recommended me this one. His name is Julio Cesar. That he is different, his work, she told me, because when I went to him, really, he uses techniques of exercises, while we are talking with him, but he make you work with a lot of exercises to experience them in order to feel more relaxed and calm, less stress. And then I was really experimenting all those things, when he was reading things and telling me, Nelly, do this, like free your attention, do a walking, saying this, count forms. I mean, different kinds of exercises from a technique that he teaches. So then I was really impressed with his work as a professional, because he also was giving personal growth classes and using also the Bach flowers. So while I was doing all this therapy, I felt better that I introduced to you, to all my kids, invite them to go and visit him also because of my experience. So that's why we started working with him.
Yeah, I do remember the first time I stepped into a psychologist after Dad passed. This psychology asked me to draw something. I think it was like a house, and I understand what that psychologist made me do, but at that time it did not connect with me, and I stepped out of that first session and I didn't like it. So I remember going to Julio after that, and everything changed for me. So what do you remember from those first sessions with me and Julio, or what kind of exercises did we do, and how did you see those exercises helping us emotionally?
I felt that each exercise has a purpose and a result when you do it. It has to do being more connected with yourself, deeper connection, feeling a kind of self-compassion, and learning how to free your attention from emotions that you are trapped in that moment. Also to stay more present, more focused, and in a way to work your beliefs, because it works also your limited beliefs that you have, how to change that. And the way you go through that is you are being free of many emotions and many beliefs inside you. And that makes you also find your purpose of life, your goals. So it was very powerful. And that's why when you started doing all those things, we were going into a state of more calm, and also, seeing what we want to keep doing in our lives.
So how do you know me as a kid? I mean, I was 12 at this time. How do you know that it was helping me personally?
Well, you you were very curious about it because you were asking, you were involved in all the work exercises. You wanted to see the therapists often. Then you were doing very good in school because school then started, and you were doing great qualifications. I mean, I can see that you were more calm and you were doing very good, achieving many things. And yeah, getting involved in all the work, being open also, to go to the therapies, to go to the alternative medicine that we were being treated in that moment also, with a homeopathic doctor and doing many workshops at the same time. I mean, very open and very present.
Yeah, I think like after, the accident, there was such a short amount of time, I feel like, to process certain things, that it was thanks to Julio and all this community that we had and all these exercises that helped me continue moving forward, because 2 months later, I was back to school. And I know, this psychologist work with Bach flower remedies. And I really want to talk to people about Bach flowers because it was one of the biggest things for me, because I carry those Bach flowers in my backpack every single day at school. Bach flowers are a type of natural remedy made from flower essence. They were created by Dr. Edward Bach, a British physician in the 1930s. Each flower essence is meant to support a specific emotional state, like fear, sadness, or insecurity. They are gentle and work on the emotional level, helping bring balance to your mood and supporting the body's natural healing process. They're often taken as drops under the tongue or mixed with water. So these Bach flowers, mommy, they were so important to me. So how did he introduce you to this type of floral therapy? And what were your impressions and effects at that time?
The Bach flowers also for me was very powerful even before he introduced me. In the moment of the accident and the shock when your father passed away, my sister from Germany was visiting us, and I have heard with the Bach flowers already she using in her family years ago in Germany. And in that moment that I was in shock, she had one drop of the rescue remedy, which is one of the flowers for in case of emergency. She had it in her pocket, and then she was giving it to me. Take this every 5 minutes. I remember, and then I remember feeling also in a state of calm. And then when the psychology in his office, he had the kit of the Bach flowers, and I recognized them, but he was using it for each patient according to the emotions that in that moment the patient is going through. For instance, if you are doing your process of grieving, you are feeling guilt, you are feeling frustrated, you are feeling anger. So each flower works with each emotion. So he was preparing for each patient what they need in that moment. Mix it with water or with a little liquor. So, and then after you keep working with him, I remember, let's say in 2 months or a month, he was seeing your state of being, and he was changing the flowers, the drops. Now you take it, for instance, for 4 weeks, but then after he will check on you. If you are now more calm, your process is different, and then he was giving you another different flowers in the droppers to take it, and so and so. So he was changing until you get balance, emotionally. So yeah, it is very powerful. And then our homeopathic doctor also, he was using the Bach flowers, all these alternative medicines that they know, and they use that. And even I always carry my rescue remedy. I bought one time in England also my kit, my Bach flowers kit. So I have them also.
I think it's very fascinating to me that, in a moment of shock and massive trauma, and the first thing that we go to, of course, is a psychologist because we want to talk and process our emotions. But the second thing instead of going towards medication immediately, like that will be a norm, right, to give to a person or a kid that is going through massive panic attacks every day, the thing that it was given to me was Bach flowers, and how impactful that is, that we went through the natural resources to try to help my biology, which is the panic attacks, and trying to help me process those emotions into Bach flowers. I also remember doing avatar exercises, and I want to tell people what avatar is, because I know Avatar for You was a very impactful course, and to me also, because it changed a lot of what we did after we started it. So, the Avatar course is a self development program that guides people through tools to explore their beliefs, emotions, and personal reality. It was created in the late 1980s by Harry Palmer. The course helps individuals identify limiting beliefs and replace them with ones that better serve their goals and inner peace. It blends mindfulness, visualization, and self awareness techniques to support emotional and personal transformation. So, Mami, how would you describe Avatar, and how did this course help you or help both of us during such a difficult emotional stage in our life?
When you mention that word of the course, it gives me inside me like this powerful state, which was for me, like the psychology was a master also delivering all these courses. Even I remember he was saying, I want the patients to learn these techniques in order not to depend on me and to be more independent, having knowledge and abilities, tools to handle difficult situations in their lives. So that led me into experience, because I was very curious about in learning something that I was feeling good, that is helping me. Is like I wanted also my family to integrate it, and also me experience first me. So I went into this 9-day process course when he did it with another master's coming from the USA. So it was so powerful. It was a process where you connected with yourself. You also be free of many limited beliefs or things that have been traumatic in your life. And then you feel this freedom, this peace, this inner compassion for yourself. I mean, it is really a process. Each exercises leads you to be, you know, more calm, more aware of many things, more consciousness, to awake consciousness. So then I started doing exercises, and I mean a program inviting people to do that. And then you did it with all my kids, integrating. So it has been wonderful and powerful, a great experience in my life.
I remember when I was 13, I think at this point, that it was the first time I tell people, or I have told people, how dysregulated my nervous system was since I was little. And I always thought that you or Papi will always like abandon me for some reason. That's something that I can get into later. But I remember you at 13 preparing all your house. Like, my siblings are older than me, and my food was already in the fridge, and you taking off to do this course in the United States, from Venezuela to the United States, to get licensed, to be licensed to teach Avatar to people. And it was so powerful to see you be in your own power. I do remember when you came back that I hugged you, and I noticed that there was a little bit of detachment, a little bit of emotional detachment, not seeing you suffer anymore or sad. And I told you, I want to be like you. I want to feel what you feel. So I thought that it was just so powerful, the impact that Avatar had in you.
Yeah, that's right. When I did the complete course and I came back, I remember, because the psychology was the one that was seeing in me that I have the potential. He was sensing that I have this potential, and he encouraged me to go and get my master license. And when I came back, it's like he said to me, being a patient, now you are like my partner, because we together started delivering courses, and that's the reason that we opened an integrative center where we both were working together. And then you also, after you connected with me, I'm curious about the course. I took you also to the first master in the world at 14 years old. You did also the complete course in Orlando. So that helps you and lead you also to all this path that you are in, because the tools are really powerful, very powerful.
Yeah, and I love that center. We will do courses every weekend. Every weekend there was people traveling around the nation in Venezuela just to work with you and the psychologist with avatar courses, and it was like a big part of my life. His motto was to help people develop skills and tools to manage their lives effectively. Do you feel that that's what he did for you or for me or for us? And how did you apply that in our house?
Well, yeah, I think it has been a wonderful tool. I mean, the most wonderful, that allow us to be more connected, more present, and to have better agreements and communication. Every time, for instance, we were planning a trip or something, we will sit down and getting together with our ideas. It's like respecting everything that you or your brothers, were saying, listening to them, and being in agreement to do something. It's like you learn all those tools, how to connect, how to respect, and you know to everybody. I mean, it has been very, very powerful, having all these tools. And I feel very proud because you have been carrying and then doing more and more also to, to what you are in this moment.
I agree. I think that all these tools, and this is why this podcast is called Bululu. Bululu in Spanish means a little bit of a chaos, a little bit of a noise. There's so much that we had to do with our own healing. And I'm trying to dilute it as simple as possible and give people a path to see what are the massive tools that have helped us. You as a mom, me as a daughter, and me trying to guide people if they're experiencing something, an emergency, a trauma situation in their lives. I mean, I've done from tarot cards to astrology to you name it. But what was important to me is that we found professional support. Our community guide us to professional support. We found a psychologist that will help us with our mental wellness. This person also guide us to help me relax and feel more attuned with myself with the biology part, with introduce me to Bach flowers. And then now Avatar, which they were like exercises and tools that it was helping me with my thinking, my mindfulness, my thoughts, my beliefs. And then we were introduced to Reiki Mami. So, do you remember what experience that experience was like? And before you start, I can tell people that I feel that Reiki was one of those tools that helped me the most to feel safe in my body. The first time that I placed my hands in my heart and my belly, I felt like finally I came home. And it was so powerful to me. For those who don't know, Reiki is a Japanese energy healing technique that promotes relaxation and stress relief. The word Reiki means universal life energy. A Reiki practitioner places their hands lightly on or near the body to help balance the body's energy and support physical and emotional healing. It's not invasive, and many people find it calming and restorative, like me. So, Mami, what did you feel with Reiki, and what did you think it offered you or me in those moments?
The psychology was a Reiki professional Reiki master too, and we were doing a lot of Reiki in our center. For me, has been another great experience, feeling a lot of harmony, free of stress, and harmonize the body and the spirit, and not only that, I want to share an incredible experience that I had, that one day a family came to the center requesting help for her daughter. The daughter was having a terminal situation, health condition in the hospital, that she was desperate. This young woman was very, very desperate. She had tubes attached and all that. And then I remember I went to the hospital. The hospital was very close where we had the center. And I went to do Reiki on her, with the imposition of the hands without touching her. And then I worked with her. I even brought my Reiki music, my little cassette. And I did with that intention and love the healing process for her. So that girl had been desperate for 2 or 3 days, the family was telling, and they knew about that we were doing Reiki, and she came and request. So then in the afternoon, they told us that the girl was in calm, in peace. She calmed herself. And then the next day, because it was terminal, the condition, the next day she left and rest in peace and calm. And the family also related that it was Reiki that helped her. And also my teacher told me that's what was Reiki for. He said, yeah, you did a good job, because Reiki also helps the people, to go and rest in peace. So that was really a wonderful experience, even if it was sad, that she had to go, but also was an incredible experience for me, seeing how it can help.
Yeah, Reiki is so special for me. So we talked about, once again, the psychologist. We talked about the support, biological support, the Bach flowers. We talked about how avatar and exercises for the mind, the soul, helps us also create better communication style, thought storms, brainstorms as a family, and now Reiki, which is energetic. And so, Mami, looking back, how would you describe the impact of this psychologist in our emotional life, in our healing journey?
I can feel that it was a blessing in our lives, finding him, or, you know, being there for us, because it's like suddenly all these tools, this knowledge, we were searching. Like at the beginning, I said, all this trauma that we are going through needs to be healed. And that word heal led me to find healing path, and probably in a natural way, because that's my source for me, always going, my priority to go into natural alternatives. So the psychology was a powerful impact in my life and in all of you, because these tools led us to keep going forward, taking better decisions, being more focused and attention. And that, of course, create a lot of things, not only for us, but to other people, because we were delivering and doing courses and spreading, and, and seeing the healing in others also was very meaningful for me. And, what we are doing. And I can say that nowadays there is a lot of emotional education, a lot, that if people are searching, I am here for everybody, to share from my own experience all these tools that I had learned. And I don't want it only for me. I wanted to share to others also, that it's available for everybody if they are searching, or if they are open, for all this.
So, Mami, this podcast, I always like to leave people with practical tools and things that they can apply immediately into their lives. And there's always people that say to me, I don't have the money, I don't know where to start, and I would like maybe to tell me how a person starts. Where do a person starts? How, if that person tells you there's no money or things like that, please tell me, what is your recommendation here?
Well, my recommendation will be always seek professional help, for their mental, emotional. But also, as I said, nowadays there is a lot of information, a lot to search, even if they don't have money. Nowadays, like your podcast or your information that you are giving, it's free through that, or asking us, what else can they do? I can guide them also to people with different mentors where they are very compassionate too and supporting people. The same thing that happened to me. I didn't have one time money in Orlando. I was searching for a naturopathic doctor to help me. And then I found it. And telling honestly from your heart what you are going through, they will open. And that's what happened to me. They were open to me. They were not even charging me, and it's wonderful. So whoever are open, the doors will open. And as I said, I am one of them, that I am here to support whoever is in that searching for healing.
I love that, mommy. I do believe the same way. I believe that whoever's looking, they can find things like that's why I created the podcast. And because we have so much knowledge and so much information, and we've gone through so many therapies, that I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. But there's also people like me and like my mom that have done the work, that done the certifications and the healing process, and we're able to guide people or share information or help them. And like she said, if you're looking, doors will open like the way they did for us. Our community stepped forward and was always giving us messages. Look at this psychologist, go to this therapy, this person had this in their pocket. And if you are open and to receive the information will be there for you. Mommy, it's been a pleasure sharing this podcast with you. I'm so excited that we get to share this information with others, and I truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you for being part of my project, my dear Melly. I love you.
If you enjoy what you hear, subscribe and share it with someone who might need it. The more people join us, the closer we get to building a wellness community for everyone. Thank you for being here. Now let's navigate this bululu together. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any condition or disease. If you need help, please seek professional care.